Hey peeps, what's up? Welcome to a brand new episode of Gifted Since 92, giving you guys the latest and exclusive content on new music, entertainment news, and inspirational quotes by me, Queen's back. Alright, I'm going to serve you guys up what's on my mind. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Enjoy this episode. I'm just going to say this. Music is boring. And I recently have listened to like albums and EPs, mixtapes from my favorite artists. And, this video is going to be about the next generation of musicians to redefine the sound of music and change the game, period. And, like I said, we're not in the 2000s no more. We're not in the 90s no more. We're not in the 80s no more. We're not in the 70s no more. We're not in the 60s no more. Those years are long gone. But pause. That doesn't mean we should forget those iconic revolutionary eras of music and the artists that really emerged from the eras. See, the issue I have with this generation has their upcoming talented musicians and artists. And I see it. But I know within the next 10 years, 20 years, 30 years down the road, it's going to change. Because the radio we know is garbage, it's oversaturated, mainstream, and I'm going to cut to the chase with that. I don't want to stay on too topic for that, but it's like when I was listening to like my favorite artists' music, I'm like, wow, the production, the risk taking, the transitions, even for them being singers, and they have studied and honed their craft as singers or singers in their artistry. And here's one thing I even notice nowadays. I'm tired of artists putting out just 2 singles from an album, or like pretty much, and then what's going on with the era? You put out an album, you're supposed to support that album, but also I do have to be honest about like the management nowadays, because I don't really think something is going on. I don't know, maybe if it's like, people are not really invested in music anymore. And these record companies, I tell you what, some of these record companies, when it comes to certain artists, they'll stereotype them, put them in the box. They expect for them to just take that generic route. And it's a business. At the end of the day, the music business is a business. But when I was coming up, I'm a millennial, so I know artists I grew up with during my generation. But it was so different and just so fun. Like when I was coming up, especially an artist that you haven't heard of, and then like their single blows up, it's like, wow. But see, now it's like, you barely really know, like, especially like nowadays. And with the social media thing, I know people, like I said, they surf the net, they surf, their favorite artists, but there needs to be pretty much, it's up to the fans. And you know why I say this? Because fans really make a difference when it comes to buying the music. And then I was listening to other people's different opinions where it's like, now it's just so much of the same old, same old. But then when I read the like stories of my favorite artists and like my favorite producers, how they got together and they came from humble beginnings and they just created music. And it was different. It was unique. It was okay. The issue is people are sounding the same. The production gets repetitive. I'm not a music producer, but if I was one, I definitely would just listen and explore different sounds of music and tap into my skills as a music producer, and don't be afraid to work with like different artists, because artists that actually are able and are capable of making something unique and of making something that has substance, flavor, originality. See, there's not much originality nowadays except for the few ones that got it. And I also want the new generation of musicians that, like I said, make sure that their artistry is intact. Make sure that they have that longevity, because this music industry is cutthroat. It's not a joke. It's not. And just, continue making good music, and, don't get caught up in like the popularity and the numbers and sales, because that stuff is going to come right along down the road anyway. And I think really it has gotten like more like, okay, an artist can sell more, an artist can make how many number ones, Billboard, and which is cool. But when you hear a new sound, revolutionary sound where it's different, it's unique, and artists, they know their worth, and they know and understand how it is in the music business. They're setting trends. They're making sure their audience knows who they are as artists. They're making sure that they sound different from everyone else. That's why I have to be very blunt. There's only a few that really catches my ear. It's only a few. Sonically, and also I like that, since I've been, listening to like my music, and I'm like, yo, my favorite artists, they are ahead of their time. Cause something that's like, it can be like a certain sound within the production is very melodic. It gives you goosebumps, it gives you chills. And as music producers, I really love the fact that the ones that actually make good music and that actually are risk takers, and they're not afraid to be bold and be eccentric with creating new sounds and new styles of music. Because when I listen to like even some of that mainstream music, I feel that some of that mainstream music, it just sounds like it's more trap, it's more mumble, it's more like fast paced. It's really fast paced music. It doesn't, and then when I listen to a production, the beat sounds the same throughout the whole entire throughout the whole entire song. The beat sounds so much the same. The rhythm, the drum patterns, it doesn't have no like switch up, doesn't get into a new transition, nothing. It's the same thing. And I really think that for the future artists, musicians, please study your craft, work on your craft. Don't worry about like I said, don't let the music industry cripple you or destroy you, because as I go back, I was listening to like some of my favorite artists' music, and I swear they've been there. Okay, they've been there. Because it's sad, and I looked at how some of them, they said how people tried to ruin their legacies, destroy their music careers, and it's crazy. It's crazy. Ain't no telling. That's why it's like you just gotta stay firm and stay to yourself, and go about it like humble, and you can't take everything so personal. You just gotta just keep going, because really I was just like, wow. And the things people do to other artists to make them feel less than, and just make them feel like they don't fit in the music industry, well, guess what? I feel like really you gotta make the music industry come to you. That's how most musicians, I notice, like they get their start off like just writing music, producing music, rapping, singing, performing outside, booking stages outside of like their networking. And the thing, how to network, you better make sure you know how to network the right way. Don't take any old kind of deal, because some of these deals nowadays, I don't really think, and I don't say nothing, because some artists that I know that are talented, and they got it, but I feel like their management, and I don't know what kind of management they got, I don't know. Management better know what the hell they're doing. and just don't take any old thing, because it takes a lot. And then especially when you're trying to, like, as an artist, you're trying to make sure like your sound is really good, original, authentic, and you have to keep promoting your music. You have to keep promoting something that people be like, oh, okay, you got a new project out, you got a new EP, a new mixtape, you got a new album out. Make sure you promote it like hell. Also, I'm not going to say no names, because I've been waiting on music for a while myself. But I also feel like, in my honest opinion, when these artists, when they drop their new music, new project, promote like hell, do a tour. Do a mini tour, get a sponsor. Because you know why? I'm starting to see, and like I said, I don't just go by just fans' opinions. I have my opinions as well. But we are really, really waiting for new music. And it's patient. And listen, I get it. I'm not saying rush to any old thing, put any old thing. I understand it's a process, because art is a process, right? Even I know. But when I was listening to the interviews of artists, like how they said, you know, it does take a while before you really, really do blow up. It may take, it's not overnight. It's like, it's a process, and how to navigate in the music industry as well. See, that's the thing, the navigation. And then for artists who are very talented, that gift is there, I would say artist development, and watch performances from other artists that you admire and that you're inspired by, but you also put in the work for yourself, and you'll blossom and you'll get more confidence. And you go out there, you book stages, and you go out there and like perform at weddings, perform at the cookouts, reunions, get people to notice your talent. And then you network, like even music connections in your state, your hometown. You can find network. And it really, to be honest, I even listened to the stories of how my favorite artists, they came from humble beginnings, no matter where they came from. But their talent, their work ethic, and their showmanship, and their creativity, and the producers that actually knew what was up in a good way, because they knew that they could create something that's just out the box, very nostalgic, not being afraid to test the waters for music, because now it's like this music right now I'm hearing on the radio, except for a few songs I like, but the rest, it's the same thing. It's just repetitive. And I feel like the next 10 years it's going to be like something different. I really feel it. Because even when people, they talk about how, oh, like people should move on from 2000s, people should move on from the 90s, this the new generation. Yeah, we get it, but this new generation needs to have its own originality and substance. Now, some of them, they do have it. You just gotta maintain it. You gotta maintain it, you gotta protect it, and then your gift, especially when it comes to music, I would say have your own independent record label from the jump. Because once you have your own independent record label, and you finance it, and you do the right thing, you study the business, know how to promote yourself as an artist, you'll be good to go. And it's a process. It takes years. But see, that's why most of the people that, when I was listening to like artists, how they said they didn't really have full creative control over their work. And I get that, and I understand. I have empathy, because the record labels nowadays, is just pretty much, you gotta make the music like everyone else is making, you know. And I think when I was listening to the other artists as well, I saw how they said it was frustrating at times, because especially they made their own music, especially they created their own music, their own sound, you know, they were able to like write, produce, and sing at the same time. They got it. They're multi-talented. so they can do without a record label. Like, I'm talking about like a huge major record label, where it's like some of these record labels are huge major ones. They're not really investing in a lot of these artists. They really not. You know, and then I feel like when I listen to like a really good, dope new album from one of my favorite artists, I'm like, wow, this is amazing. This is so, it just gives me cloud nine. And I'm like, but then they put out like 2 singles. I expect at least 4 singles. At least 4 singles. And it depends on the artist too, because I'm like, it depends on who the artist is, because some of the artists, like, they came from like the 90s and they have transcended into new, you know, music and like new generation, right? But they know how it is nowadays, because it's like, listen, it's about the music. They've been there for, like, you know, when they came out, they had the success. You know, they had the awards and everything, but they came from humble beginnings. It's so different nowadays, because I think that we just pretty much just waiting for like new substance, new content, and just new sounds. Just new sounds. And I'm just waiting patiently, because in the meantime, I'm just going to be like doing what I'm doing. And I just want to like keep giving you guys exclusive content, because I notice like you guys like my work, and you guys like when I promote music a lot. But I know that after a while, it's starting to really change. Things are starting to really like change. It's starting to really like manifest. And then I look at how people, you know, like I said, I just don't want, like I said, I just want to hear something new and different in today's radio. But I know it's going to take, like, I know at least 10 years. And after the 10 years as well. And then, you know, for, like, music platforms to come back, I already touched on that. You know, I already talked about that, because it takes time to do work and to do art. And you want to make sure that it really comes together. It's not rushed. Something that you can be proud of, something that's your work, that you like, wow, I did this. This is my work. You know, everybody's different, everybody's unique. That's why I feel like I don't really see, it's just really kind of like the respect of the art, and even the, you know, direction of like, okay, you can be different. It's okay being different. Everybody's unique and different. But that's what makes artists stand out. To be different, unique, despite what everybody else. I just feel like when I listen to like music, I ain't just listen to like what an artist presents to me the first time. So I think that now, you know, we just gotta do a really good job of like making sure that we as fans buy the music and support it. Because really, these artists, they need more promotion. The issue is, it's not just necessarily like the music, because people can have their opinions on the music anyway. That ain't it. But when I see real like talented artists, they busted they behind making music, they gotta get that promotion on point. That's why their team and management, that's why a management and team can make or break an artist, you know. And you gotta really make sure that, you know, everything comes together. And then when I listen to you know, other people's opinions on music, it's like, yeah, people just missing that substance. They just missing like that eccentric, that adventurous kind of type. And it's like something that's like, oh, it's in your, like, it's something like out of the box. It's just something that brings that like free spirited, and brings a lot of that real, you know, just on point. But then again, I have empathy for these artists, because I noticed that, and I was watching, I'm not going to say, I was on YouTube, right? I was watching a YouTube video, And there's this artist, I'm not gonna mention the name, but he's a talented R&B artist. Like he's from like the 90s. You know, he like not just from the 90s, but he made like timeless hit records. You know, and all that great stuff. And then like how how things change in the music industry. And then, like he deserves his flowers. Cause really, in my honest opinion, some of these R&B male artists, only a few of them that can get my attention. But some of them, they just lack versatility in music. But that's going to be another video. And I think that, and then, like I said, he saw ups and downs in the music industry. And then people was trying to give him a hard time, trying to ruin his music career, and all that crazy stuff. But see, it's crazy. And it's like, you really don't know how people really feel about you. You really don't. But with that being said, I like that perseverance and being resilient. Because really, and also he's a songwriter too. He has wrote a lot of records for other artists as well. But I like that now, things are pretty much with the way they are. But I just feel like the next talented up and coming musicians of their generation right now and in the future, they can really change and redefine the sound of music. I don't really think, and it's going to take time. Right now, we're just pretty much like, it's just not. I mean, I like some of today's music, but I prefer the music I grew up listening to a lot because it's had more substance and originality. I don't care to listen to today's generation music. I really don't. But there needs to be like being creative, putting your own substance, making sure you stand out, and not sound like everyone else. But with that being said, guys, I just want to get everything off my chest. I think that, we're going to get there in the future. I really do, because I think that when I was listening to, like, I was in the morning, I was listening to, like, all kinds of music. And I said, you know what? This stuff really, really, really knocks. And I just love how, like, these artists, most of them have taken control of their music careers because they're not gonna allow the music industry to run them over. They have to change, get out of record labels, be independent, have their own record label, because really it's just like now it's just like it's just so much of this like fast-paced music. So that being said, guys, how do you guys feel about the next these current artists being able to explore different sounds of music? And how you guys feel like, do you think music's going to change within the next 10 years or more? Let me know down below. Share your thoughts and your opinions. So with that being said, stay tuned on the next episode of Gifted Since 92. Like, share, comment, subscribe down below. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that notification button. And as always, stay tuned on the next episode of Gifted Since 92. Dragon Ball Z narrative reference. Peace. Bye-bye, girls. Exiting out. The Super Saiyans out.